Who's responsible?
I think it's the leadership of both parties, because it goes beyond Democrats and Republicans.
Is there arm twisting going on?
Oh, there's going to be so much arm twisting going on the floor of the House of Representatives. You get a better full squad of docs in there to set the broken bones.
You at one point said to me that you were...
And that's not me saying that. That was on the news today.
Oh, you're not... Again, my first question was, is there anything new to your charges?
I mean, people say that I'm making this stuff up, but I'm just telling you what I learned in 14 months in the United States Congress. By the way, a Congress I deeply love. And people say, well, you can't indict the Democratic Party by saying something that's negative. It's my job, if I believe in the principles of the Democratic Party, to say when we're not adhering to them. That's what...
I haven't heard anything. I've heard generalities.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say specific. I don't have specific legislation.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's take a break. Let's go back to... I mean, we've had the Rahm Emanuel, but maybe we start there. What specifically did he do? And why isn't there anything? I mean, there is actionable stuff there. So why wouldn't we follow that? Let's start at, tell me about specific arm twisting. There's been specific arm twisting. Hang on, we're going to take a break.
We'll talk about cap and trade.
Hang on. Former New York State Congressman Eric Massa is with us, and we've kind of had this has been an interesting hour, but I'm a little frustrated now because I think the American people, as we were talking in the break, the American people are tired as well, because they hired a bunch of people to do the job and look after things, and we see what's happening. The house is burning down, and firemen keep running out, but they won't say, over here, bring a hose over here, and we're standing with hoses, we want to help. Is there, I mean, I don't want to be a defender of the White House here, but I have to be. Is there anything specific? Because you've talked to me,
sure.
You talked on the radio, you talked on me personally yesterday on the phone. You have talked about corruption, but we all complain about corruption. Is there anything specific that you have?
Well, I don't know how to answer specific, because my arm has been twisted 17 times to Sunday. You asked me something it's called whipping. It's an institutional process. There's a state whip, a regional whip, a caucus whip, right up to the Speaker of the House on our side, and the Republicans have the exact same side. That's why the Republicans have been very successful in voting en bloc. So you want something specific, Glenn? Mm-hmm. You tell your voters to forget about political party, Republicans and Democrats, and tell them to call their congressman and say, listen, if you vote against this health care bill, we will return you to Congress and we'll give you the backbone to do what you think is right, regardless of political party. Regardless. And here's another specific thing. Stop calling fellow Americans names.
Stop what?
Calling fellow Americans names. Pejorative, insulting, socialist, communist, whatever the case may be, colorful names designed to emote emotion. I get it. But I'm asking you and everybody, if you're a member of the Tea Party movement, which I respect because I'm a fiscal conservative, I always have been. You can be a progressive and be a fiscal conservative. I know we're going to have an argument, but you can be. But you can't show up at a Tea Party rally and claim that the entire budget deficit happened this year.
Nobody on this program is
okay, and you have.
But again, you haven't gone.
So
you haven't gone into anything.
Yes, it is a specific. I said call your congressman, regardless. If you're a Republican, support a Democrat who will stand up and say, I don't want to support this legislation. Okay.
All right. Let's just wrap this up, because we're going to have to take a break. And then when I come back, I want to talk to you about the future. And what's coming your way.
Oh, it's an
whether you've done anything or not done anything, whether you're telling the truth or not telling the truth, an avalanche is coming your way. So let's talk about that in your life next. We are back with former New York State Congressman Eric Massa. He says this interview will happen, then he will do one more, and then that will be it. We have found out a few things this hour. First, you said that you were forced out, or that's what I heard, that you were forced out. You say that's not true.
I take full responsibility for my own actions.
Okay. But you say that you didn't do anything criminal?
Nope, absolutely not.
You didn't do anything sexually inappropriate?
No.
Okay. But you were inappropriate with staff members in
Yep.
language, et cetera, but nothing sexual in nature.
That's correct.
Is there another shoe that's going to drop? Is there anything?
People at this point will say anything about me, and that's fine. I don't have an axe to grind. I'm not trying to change the world. I want to tell my story. I got to go deal with some serious medical considerations. I've got to unite with my family, and I got to get on with my life.
Are there Tiger Woods phone calls that are going to happen? No. Text messages?
No, I'm sure there's text messages because we bantered back and forth all the time.
All right. You say that Rahm Emanuel said that the shower thing, or the White House says that the shower thing never happened. You're saying that he lied, or the White House is lying?
It happened.
It happened. Did he threaten, harass, or intimidate you?
He made it very clear that I better vote with the president.
Did he do it in a threatening, or intimidating, or harassing?
Well, I wasn't intimidated because, you know, how do I look like someone's going to intimidate? So I did not. I actually took it to be more humorous, like, you got to be kidding me.
Okay.
But then again, he and I are not friends. By the way, and I owe him an apology. I do. Because on my radio show, I went over the top. I said he'd tie his kids to the railroad to get a vote. He wouldn't do that. He'd tie my kids to the railroad to get a vote, but maybe not his. And so in hyperbole, I was guilty. I went over the top. Enough said on that.
America, I'm going to shoot straight with you. I think I've wasted your time. I think this is the first time I have wasted an hour of your time, and I apologize for that. Because I think we could have spent a lot less time you backtracking a lot. You're a lot.
I'm not backtracking. I'm telling you what happened.
On corruption, and you don't really have anything except what I say. You're now apologizing to Rahm Emanuel.
That was sarcastic, Glenn.
Okay.
Did you get that?
I didn't. No, I didn't. But
I said he'd tie my children to the railroad tracks.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Listen, Rahm Emanuel is very good at making enemies. And he's not very good at making friends. And that's one of the reasons why this administration is having such a hard time getting things done, because what has to be done now deals a lot with open dialogue and consensus building and compromise. And you can't compromise when someone's coming at you with a finger in your chest. You simply can't do that. There is no compromise. It's my way or the highway. I once had someone tell me, you've got to vote with the president. This is the president's first piece of legislation. And I said, the president didn't vote for me.
Congressman, former Congressman,
Eric,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
My best to you and your sweet wife and your children. Back in a second. This is why I said, I'm sorry I've wasted your time. We learned a lot, I think, but what we learned I don't think affects you at all. From New York, good night, America.